And we're back with Millicent Green-Polovic, and she's fielding all of your Social Security disability questions. You ready to keep going?
I am.
All right. All right, our next caller says, Social Security told me that they were taking my check because I was overpaid. How much can they take from me?
Well, that's a good question because that amount has changed a few times this year already. It initially was 10% that they could recover from your ongoing disability check that you would receive in order to repay an overpayment. Now in March, well not now, but in March they did take that to 100% of your check. So you may not have been receiving any benefits while the recovery period was in effect. They've just announced a few months ago that now starting in July, they are going to reduce that to 50% of your check. So if you're one of those people who had 100% of your check taken, you will start receiving approximately 50% of your benefits now in order to recover the payment. So that it has changed a few times, and it's a good thing that you will still continue to receive your benefits while the overpayment is being repaid.
Okay, that's probably good news to some people right now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Our next person said, I had a shoulder replacement and now I can't do anything reaching over my head. Is that something that I can file for disability for?
That may be something that would be considered disabling. It's going to depend on a couple of things. Is it your dominant arm? And have you regained the ability to use your arms out in front of you, handling and fingering objects in front of you rather than overhead? If you can't do any overhead reaching at all, that may be enough to limit you to not being able to perform any work activity, but if you can do so on an occasional basis, that alone is not going to be enough to consider you disabled. But I would encourage you to speak with an attorney about your certain circumstances, because depending on your age, your education, your work experience, you may fall into a different category. So it's a good thing to reach out to someone who's knowledgeable about disability to give you an idea of how strong your case would be in your certain circumstances.
Alrighty. All right, our next person says, is there a certain amount of time you have to work in one job to qualify for disability?
There is not. You do not have to work in one job for a certain period of time in order to be considered disabled, or in order to be eligible for disability, I should say. We do have the requirement that you must have worked 5 out of the last 10 years, like I mentioned earlier, but you don't have to have worked that same job for 5 years. You can have multiple different jobs as long as you're working at some level. Now, it does influence your case. It is good. It makes your case stronger if you have worked in one job for a considerable amount of time. And the reason being is that a judge is going to look at that as, if you have a really good job that you've been stable with and it's a job you enjoyed, then if you can no longer do that job, it would make most sense for you if you were able to continue working and receiving earnings for that job. And if you can't do that, that's good evidence that your case is very it's stronger, it's more severe, that kind of thing. But there is no certain requirement that you work in one job for any length of time.
Okay, I want to squeeze this last one in. Why does Social Security want to talk to my family members?
They want to talk to your family to get an idea about your daily activities, and it's kind of a situation where they can get more information about your case. It's not a requirement, and I will caution you that things that your family says can be used against you. So make sure you're giving a person who knows about your conditions and who's going to have your best interest when they fill out those forms.
We don't need them going willy-nilly telling all the things.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Millicent, thank you so much for being here with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All righty. If you would like to revisit this segment of Legal Line, please log on to WPSDLocal6.com and click Legal Line.
And before we go here at Midday, Family Service Society, a Paducah-based nonprofit, is gearing up for a big move. They provide assistance with food, clothing, and other necessities, and as they are moving, it may impact the availability of some of those very services. They plan to move to 1225 Broadway in Paducah. That process officially starts next week, July 10th. It will run through the 15th. They will be closed those days, and only food assistance will be available on the 16th through the 18th. Family Service Society plans to be fully operational from their new location by July 23rd.
It's going to be a hot and humid 4th of July holiday on Friday. Temperatures are going to be in the low 90s, and it's going to be humid during the evening, so plan to bring some extra water bottles along with you. Hot during the weekend in the mid 90s, and the humidity returns.
Thank you, Nolan. We thank you for watching Local 6 Midday.
Are you missing out on conversations